PABrewNews. Let's see what review we're gonna do today. Okay, let's see. Let's try this one. Jack's Abbey, Hopoinus Union. I was told to review this pretty fresh, so I'm just gonna get it over with. I was actually gonna do a porter today, but we'll get this one done. Crown I don't have, so take my time with it. Jack's Abbey Brewing Company. Awesome. Alright, let's see. They're from Massachusetts. Jack's Abbey Brewing Company, Farmington, Massachusetts. I'm pretty sure anyway. Okay, this is an Imperial Pale Lager. A hopped up Imperial Pale Lager. It's a West Coast IPA hops in this India style pale lager. So it's a hopped up traditional lager. Let's see. Cold fermented, blah blah blah, lager yeast obviously. We don't want any tasty notes, but see if I can get you an ABV. 6.7% alcohol by volume and 65 IBUs. Definitely pretty hoppy for a lager. JacksAbbeyBrewingCompany.com. Had that little moment where I could let the head die. There's a little bit of a hop haze. Very nice look. Nicely malted. Big fluffy white head. It's a lager, remember. Very West Coast. This is about as West Coast as you can get. There's this underlying grapefruit, earth tones, lots of pine, spruce pine. Oh, there's a little bit of dankness in there too. A little bit of that resiny dank. A little Simcoe-y. You know, it does really remind me of a fresh blue spruce. Well, let's get into it. Here's a lager, a hopped up lager. Cheers. That's not bad at all. It's really smooth. Hey, right then when I got done talking, the hops finally subsided, and a real bready cereal grain type of sweetness came onto my mouth from the malt. Came onto my mouth. Anyway, but very dank, earthy, piney notes all the way down. It isn't as Simcoe-y as I thought it would be, so that's very nice. Very earthy. Nice earth tones. I'll tell you what. Kind of confused, actually, if I really have to say this. It's an Imperial Pale Lager that drinks like a West Coast IPA. Why don't you just make a West Coast IPA? Is that just me, or does this seem kind of weird? Because there is such thing as a West Coast IPA. It's readily available and easy to brew. So why don't you just brew that instead of trying to make something that replicates a West Coast IPA when one already exists? That's a little weird, honestly, if you really think about it, but they did a very good job. It's smooth, drinkable, nice bitterness, nice hop presence. The malt is soft, sweet, and bready. There's no, I like real good earth tones and real earthy, minerally bitter tones, so I don't find any off flavors with this at all. It's really nice. And because it's a lager, the lack of a big malt base, I'm giving it some leeway. Because a lot of lagers just don't have a big malt base, like an ale does. The low malt base reminds me of an all-day IPA style, where they kill the malts to give it a low ABV so you can session on it. 6.7% is pretty high still, but It's nice. It's drying, just like a good lager or pilsner. It dries you out, leaves you clean, and that's when these hops come in and they just leave this big residual earthy bitterness, and I do like that. I actually like this. I think this is good. If they had more of these, I'd drink more of these. Hopoinus Union from Jack's Abbey. It's a wicked happy lager. And I'm going to give this a 9. I think it's really good. This has been Paul from PABrewNews. Cheers.